Hello, everyone. Tazara2 here, and welcome back to the Lads Podcast. This is episode 2 of Season 1, and this podcast we're going to be talking about board and card games. We still have Jamie, our usual co-host.
Yep, I'm still here.
And in addition, we have Logan, a friend of ours who is a board game enthusiast.
Hi, everybody.
So we're just going to talk about some of our favorite card and board games that are on their way out, or have unfortunately perished. So I started last time. You want to start this time, Jamie?
I was figuring we could let our guests start.
Oh,
I have a lot
No
to
pressure.
talk about. I don't think...
no pressure.
You sure? All right.
I'm only putting you first because I have minimal planning.
Okay. So there are actually a few. Mainly, I want to talk about trading card games. And mainly how some of them are dying, they are dead, or they are actually still skyrocketing in popularity. Which, Jesus Christ, there are so many. Actually, no, there's only one that is still so. Out of all the trading card games out in the world that have made the most profit, Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't even make top 12 now. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is actually done. And here's the best part. For those of you out there who know it, Kazuki Takahashi, the legitimate creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself, died not too long ago. And it was funny because I was going upstairs to my room to fold my laundry while I was at my house, and my mom stopped me and said, "Hey, look at this." She showed me her phone on Google, and it said Kazuki Takahashi found dead. And I lost it. Because that's my childhood right there. That Yu-Gi-Oh! Was made before I was even born. And my brother was playing it before he gave up all that stuff. He handed it down to me, and I basically grew up on Yu-Gi-Oh! And now it is literally dying.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of important to all of us. We all, that was like the game we played at the lunch
yeah.
table.
Middle school,
In school, yeah.
gaming. That was the first card game I really got into. Remember my birthday party, 8th grade, you guys bought me my first deck, and I learned how to play off of that. And I was never any good, but it was a fun game nonetheless, and it was an important part of
Now we play like Magic the Gathering.
We haven't played Magic in so long.
But we haven't played Magic in a while. Except that last draft tournament, like...
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
January.
In the spring.
It was January, my man.
January?
Yeah. New Year's Day, we went out and bought those packs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess we did. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about Magic the Gathering. Out of the so Magic the Gathering, believe it or not, was actually created long before Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dying long before Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, Magic's really popping off.
It is.
Yeah.
Every year, the ratings for like what's the top ranked, profit, popularity, everything, Magic the Gathering has stayed number 1 the entire time. It has not fallen from number 1 at all. And, I mean, it's not as much of a shocker, but it kind of is. They don't really change the game that much. They make plenty of new cards, but they don't... Planeswalkers, It took them a while to get that. After a while, they were just making regular cards, regular monsters. Obviously getting new art for the land cards. Right. Obviously.
Pretty art.
Which is always great. Always great. It's really good.
On top of that, though, they do add, like, new gimmicks and stuff every year.
Yeah.
Like,
they do.
What was that last one that they just had?
With all the new keywords, daylight, darkness.
Daylight and darkness, all that stuff.
Or day and
That's
night.
not new.
Isn't it?
No.
Daybound and nightbound's not new.
No. That's been a thing.
Oh.
Well, I thought it came out with Shadows over Innistrad. Or not
That
Shadows.
was before. It was out before Planeswalkers.
Really?
Last time I checked.
Really?
That was before Planeswalkers?
Because
Wow.
in the last booster pack we got, they had a day-night token.
Oh,
and I thought that was brand new.
No.
Wow.
No, that's...
So it's just like an
never seen
old mechanic they
just
reused, and we just haven't seen it because it was like an old,
It was for
standard.
like werewolves and stuff, and werewolves kind of didn't really come back until recently.
Because in the I don't have very many. You guys know the cards I have. I don't have very many up to date cards. But out of the random cards that I have that I don't use, there were a couple Daybound, Nightbound, and when we did the draft tournament, they had abilities or like requirements to switch from Daybound to Nightbound.
Right.
For the ones I had, it was just that at the end of every turn, it switched.
That's interesting. So I guess they just updated
Yes,
that
they,
gimmick.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's just an update.
But yeah, that is part of
But-
what we're getting at, though, is that
Yeah.
they add new gimmicks.
Yes. And just like there were some cards that you got in one of your packs, Jamie, a while ago when we were in Mr. Bose's class. It had like in the ability area, it had like a book on it, but
Oh yeah,
Adventure.
Yeah.
cards.
those
Yeah,
I actually found really freaking cool.
yeah,
Like, that-
they're an
that was-
interesting.
Another
Interesting
thing
thing.
that's really cool, and especially if you can manage to build a deck around it, is Mutation.
I forgot about that.
Because
I
Mutation,
actually know about
you were
that.
right.
because Mutation, you just put it on top of another card, and it gains the ability of the last card.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
wow.
all the abilities and the power. And usually they have secondary effects where, like, if this card mutates, you put +1/+1 counter on it or something.
Oh yeah.
And it's really crazy because you can create like a giant card with like hexproof, indestructible,
Yeah,
and
that's-
it's like a 13/13.
You can get some really cool stuff out of that.
You can.
Like the that reminds me of another mechanic, sagas. One of the sagas has this thing where at the third token you summon a kraken with hexproof, and it's a 10/10. You mutate the kraken
Okay.
Excuse
Keep
me?
going, and
with something that has indestructible,
oh my god,
What?
and now like you have a creature that's way over 10 power and it has hexproof and indestructible.
yeah. How are you winning?
There's no chance.
At that point, all you can do is like negate the damage somehow,
Yeah.
or like
If-
it's not.
Good
You
luck
have
with
a de-
against
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Like,
and,
that's not possible.
and I guess that's why what makes Magic #1 is because they make these new mechanics, and the new mechanics are good.
Yes,
Mhm.
they are.
Meanwhile, you got Yu-Gi-Oh, and they're like, "Oh, Link monsters."
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you got up to pendulums and pendulums were good, but once you hit Link, you should have just stopped. You should have just stopped right there. No more.
The extra deck is twice the size of your normal deck.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that.
Wait, did they change the extra deck limit?
I,
There was
I
a
think
limit?
I think it's still 20, but
I
Oh,
didn't
back
know
then
there
it
was.
was 15. Now it's 20. Shit.
I didn't even know there was a limit.
Yeah, there was a limit to
Wow. I never
for a
had that many,
while.
so it never applied to me. I
Right.
guess.
yeah, we never played tournament or
Mm-hmm.
any like ranked mode.
Yeah, we played
So
like
bad at
very
it, too.
basic.
15. I mean, I'll
Hon-
never forget when we were in high school. We did the King of Games thing. Whoever had the title, and you got to
Oh
play for the
yeah,
title.
we did that once at lunch.
Oh yeah, whoever won became king of games, and,
Yeah.
and then you had to like beat the king of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't it? I think I remember who won. It was.
It was Hudson all
I
the
thought
time.
so. I was about to say, let's blurt the name out.
Yeah, we're name dropping here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course he.
every time. And then I bought a deck, and it was the like the fairy deck that had all the counter traps in it.
Oh yeah, wait.
So I was like,
Those cards didn't look very new. Were they new?
they were new.
Oh shit.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember back that far to everyone's deck builds, and I'm like, oh.
And that was just out of the box, the way that, and it was so broken.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it was out of the box. It was just like, oh, here's a 15-card combo turn 3 because you dared play the spell card. Like,
I'll never forget. I really wanted to have both a Performapal deck and an Infernoid deck, because Infernoid monsters, they were actually really strong. They were really powerful and really good. And I only had enough to make half a deck, so I literally had to make half the Performapals I had and the other half of the Infernoids I had, and just put them together and said, oh, there's a deck, and just made it work.
yeah. And I guess, yeah, so now we're getting into, like, card combos in
Yeah.
Magic versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, your objective is to make your turn as long as possible.
Right.
And
We
the
had a
opponent's
name for
turn
that.
As short as possible. Yeah, we
had-
called it a Logan turn
because
Logan's
Logan always
turns were
took
really long.
insanely long turns. Yeah, but that's how the game works: is you plan out what your attack's
Yes.
gonna be and stuff.
And you get these like 15 or 20 card combos, and you're just like, and that's how you want a game of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's why Yu-Gi-Oh is dying. Maybe.
Yes, it is. Actually, that is why. Because if you've seen the shows, the cards in real life are actually very similar to the cards in the shows. And even up to Arc 5, I just hit Season 2 of Arc 5, and I swear to God, every single card could end a one-turn battle. That they've made every single card can make a one-turn battle. And I'm like, why?
And that just destroys competitive Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes, it does. It's like,
It doesn't make it fun.
nope.
And then you go back to like the structure of a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. It's not like Magic,
Right.
where it's like oh, there's Swiss rounds, and you actually get a chance to like if you get a bad an unlucky thing, you're still playing tournament mode. So first of all, it's best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Second of all, you only get eliminated when you play 3 rounds and
Yeah.
lose. I think it's all 3. So. And I was in a Magic tournament once. You can view the video on my channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What was I put link in description?
Shameless plug right there. You can look at the ELU tournament that I did, and even though I basically got eliminated as soon as I could, I won my first game.
Okay.
I won my first game, lost the other 2. I made this life gain deck, but it wasn't any of the new mechanics, so
Yeah.
I lost. This guy had this really good mutation deck. That's why I was talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shout out to that guy, man. What was his name? Evan? I can't remember. But he had a really good deck, and I hope he made it to finals. And finals in a Magic tournament is just double elimination, but Yu-Gi-Oh is just straight up double elimination, right?
Yeah.
So you don't really get a chance.
Nope.
You're just like, oh, this guy just pulled the cheesiest combo ever, and I lost.
Yeah.
And I lost, and then it's just like, whoops, lost again. Guess I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's something else. There are so many games that I actually used to play a lot before I met you guys, actually, and there were 2 games. One game I want to talk about is called Chaotic. All of you out there, if you know Chaotic, it was actually really good. Chaotic was very unique in its playstyle. I loved it so much. It was so much fun, but I literally had no one to play against. So I was literally playing against myself with a very small deck that I had. It was not very easy, but it was still good. The mechanics were still really good, and it was beyond unique. No game has any similar playstyle to it. But the problem is that it actually died faster than Redakai. Redakai Conquer the Kairu. That's the other game I want to talk about. Is Redakai Conquer the Kairu was also very unique in its playstyle. Nothing like it as well. And the show was really good. It had its own TV show and everything that it played on, that Cartoon Network ran, and it was great across the board. But for some reason, it just died. The show was no longer running. Production just stopped, and it was just gone. I was playing it with my brothers and my brother for a while, and he got some really cool setup. He got all the special stuff to play the game and play a multiple setup. And then we went to the store one day, and we ended up walking by the cards section, and all it had was a booster pack and a starter deck. And I was like, what the frick? Where is all of it at? And then the next thing you know, it's just gone. Non-existent. And I'm like, it was so much fun. The game mechanics was so good. Why?
Yeah, I do not know what Chaotic is, and I know very little about Conquer the Kairu. So, I mean, I'm sure some people know, but just for the audience, for the people who don't know, explain those games, just what they are.
I'm unfamiliar too.
Chaotic, in Chaotic, you basically had monster cards that had a health point and different stat points that helped play with the attack cards you used. Instead of using like attack points on the monsters, you had cards that were attacks that you played on other enemy monsters to deal damage and try to get rid of them. You had you had to have at least, well, actually you had to have at least one monster, but you could play with up to 15 monsters all shaped in a pyramid. And the place I was at the very front line, the monster you had could attack any adjacent enemy monster that it could see. Well, I could say see, but really just in front of it in a diagonal position. You could play attack cards on it, and you could balance it out to destroy them. And once whoever has all their monsters destroyed loses. And it was really fun, but the problem was,
It does seem like a very niche game, especially with that board design. Because it doesn't sound like a good design because you're going to have uneven amount of monsters, right? No matter what.
no, if you're playing one-on-one, you have to have the same number of monsters on both sides. Otherwise, it's not fair. You can't
Right.
have more monsters than your opponent. But they're all in a pyramid style, and if one dies, you can move the position of another, and you can move all of them around to give yourself an advantage. Like pull back a low attack or low health, and then move a higher health and use it for attack. Or you can move it around, and the stat points that I was talking about, other than the health, they actually some of the attack cards were boosted by those stats, so the damage would be increased and you could deal more. They also had different effects and restrictions to the enemy stats that reduced them. So it was really unique and really good. I also played the DS video game for it, and it was pretty good. It was much. It wasn't that much more complicated, but it was nowhere near the actual game. But it was kind of close. There's also in the game it is a stupid name, but it was called Mugic, Mugic, Mugic. Or actually, I don't know if you would pronounce it Mugic or Mugic. I always said Mugic.
Mugic sounds funnier.
Yeah. And it was basically just the spells. There was a number next on the bottom left corner of the monster card that told you how many Mugic cards you could play for that monster. And you can't play any more. Some had 1, some had 2. I didn't see any more than 3 Mugic cards. And Mugics could be used to boost your monster or debuff other monsters.
Interesting.
It was really good.
Yeah, the map seems interesting. Like the whole you're kind of restricted to this unusual map size.
Yeah. But it was good. For the gameplay and everything, it was good. It was very unique. And then Redikai, you basically got 3 character cards. You could fight with 1, 2, or 3, but no more than 3. And at the top right corner, they had 3 yellow bars. Those were basically the health bars. You could play attacks on enemy characters, and some of those attack cards will have red bars filled in that you play on top of the card, and it covers up the yellow bars. Once all 3 bars are colored red, that character is done for and can no longer be used. And once you get rid of all of your opposing characters, then you win. There were also monster cards, which basically kind of like mutation cards from Magic, sort of, but they had different abilities, and some of them would actually turn some bars back to yellow, but it was only very specific. If the bar was already yellow before it, when you played the monster, well, it was kind of a waste, but the monster still did give buffs. At the right side, there were 3 different colors, red, green, and blue, and monsters could add certain stat numbers to those colors, and each attack card you had was either red, green, or blue, and they would have a number like 150, 250, 1050. If the total number on the color on your character card was more than the number on the attack, it was blocked and you could not use it, and it would go to the discard pile. Otherwise, if it was a higher attack damage, it would be played on the character. And some monsters, I think I already said, gave color boosts, you could have multiple different colors on the character, and it would block different attacks.
Yeah, now that you're saying it, I actually do remember owning a couple of Redikai cards. Not even enough to build a deck.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I got a booster pack or something. I was like, this is cool. I want to play this
That was
game.
me.
How do I play this game? I was trying to figure out how to play Redikai with like 5 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, which wasn't gonna work out.
That was me very early with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Back when I was in like kindergarten and stuff, I was like, "Oh, these look cool!" And I bought a bunch without knowing anything about how to play, without caring how to play. I just had them for years.
That's fun.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, that, and for Redikai, you could only play monsters and the attack cards depending on how much, they called it Kairu energy, where at the beginning of every turn, your max Kairu would go up 1 number, and that's
Like
how much
Hearthstone?
you could use. Yeah, kind of. And if you didn't have enough Kairu energy, you couldn't play it. But both the monsters and the attack cards costed Kairu energy to play. So there were limitations, and it was really good limitations. It was good. It was a very good play style.
Yeah, just a game design tip. I really do like the way Hearthstone does their like energy, where you increase by 1 each time the game goes on, and you can play more powerful cards, and it's really easy. It makes it really easy to adjust how much power can be
Yeah.
at the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
and you can gain more energy than you start with.
Oh yeah.
Like you can, like there's cards you can play in Hearthstone where you gain energy, but it's usually for a pretty big cost, because when you gain energy, it messes with the economy of the game. So if you are on turn 3 and you have 3 energy and you play a card that gives you 3 more energy, you're doubling the amount of energy you have. So it usually comes at a pretty big cost, like, you know, you can only play 1 card or something like that.
I mean, yeah, Redikai did
Or
the
like
same
self-damage.
thing, with the monster. Even the attacks had abilities that could increase the energy you had, or you could spend more to do even more abilities onto the enemy character, which that was really good. There were even some attack cards. There was one attack card that I had. It was like something tsunami, where it literally got rid of all 3 red bars. It got rid of all 3, but it costed like 15 energy or 10 energy or something. But
So it was
good.
really hard to use.
Yes.
Because you probably won't even get to turn 10.
Oh no, you can. It will take a while before you get there, because it's all random depending on what bars you cover up. There are even some attack cards where it doesn't put any bars, but it does block some of the color energy on the character so that you can reduce the number that they can block, so you can play other attacks.
That's interesting.
It's really fun. Someday, when I get the chance, I will bring it and I will show you guys. It's really easy to play and it's so much fun. It's so worth
That
it.
sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds like something that would be really fun for the channel, just to get some like obscure games that don't really
I was
exist
like that,
anymore and
yeah.
start doing like actual play.
That would be fun.
I did wanted to do a couple of board game things, maybe. Like, I wanted to do a D&D stream. That was one of my charity incentives
Oh, yeah.
last year.
I remember
Oh.
that.
Never hit that goal.
Ah,
So,
shucks.
yeah, it was like $100 goal because it would take so much to set up.
Right.
I would need like multiple cameras and
Yeah, and you have
Oh.
to get everyone on board.
multiple cameras, get everyone on board, multiple hours of recording, and
Yeah, editing.
a long
it'll be fun.
live stream, because I only stream for like 1 or 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
So
And
if
we
I'm
typically
sitting there
play
playing
for-
D&D, that's like a 4 or 5 hour long live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And interacting with chat when you're trying to play D&D probably won't even do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Good luck.
And like I said, we're
I don't
only
know how
working with.
Critical Role does it.
Well,
Do
they have
even,
a
like,
high production.
Yeah, they have a pretty
They
high.
probably got people monitoring the chat for them.
They have like curators and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think anyone at the table ever looks at chat. or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, and the reason that was such a high incentive was just because, like, I wanted to do it, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to put the effort into actually
Making
setting
it
it
happen.
up. because it
Nobody
would
wants
take,
It'd be a
to go that
pain. We
extra
only have-
it
mile.
would take so long.
Amongst us, we only have like 3 mics here,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's more than 3 players.
Right?
Yeah, well, for that case, I would just set up like an omnidirectional
That's true.
because I
Pretty
do
good,
have
yeah.
one of those. Yep, yep.
Yeah, this
Yeah, that one right there.
That one can be omnidirectional. It's not always,
Yeah.
but like it has
It
the you can change the settings. I'll probably just do like that,
It'd be fun to do.
or borrow some of the film tools from Ben from 10 Cent Films. 10 Cent Films or his
Another plug here.
channel name Unnamed Diamond 72. We make short films together. Our latest one, Noir, it's a riot.
It's a 10 out of 10. Truly, I loved that short film.
It's a riot, really.
Everything about it is incredible. The comedy is on point.
Yeah, and then the SCP videos that he does is good too. And we did try to do a podcast, an SCP podcast, going a little off topic here. We did try to do an SCP podcast, but one of the people that was on it decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
What?
I will take their place.
I
I like
will.
SCP.
I'll do it.
I don't know if it's still. I don't know if he still wants to do it, but I could talk to him.
I'd be interested. That'd be fun. Sign me up.
Yeah, it was called The Break Room. We did one episode on the different interest groups. My part was on Marshall Carter and Dark, which is the people that do like the selling of the anomalies. They like sell them to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things involved. I'm not going to get into SCP.
Yeah.
That's a whole other
Yeah,
podcast.
that's not our theme for today's podcast
Right.
episode.
Yeah, so is that those the games you wanted to talk about?
I see you have a lot more notes, so
No,
I'm not
there
sure.
was there was only one more. Actually, 2. There was. Everybody here knows about Bakugan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
about to bring up Bakugan if you weren't going
I
to.
still find Bakugan like in Walmart and
Yes,
stuff like that.
that's what I was going to bring up. Every time I go to Walmart, there's still so many of them. I'm like, who buys them? Who plays?
Actually, here's the best part. When I was really young, Bakugan came out and it was really good. After a while, they got really far and they had a really good run. And then they died.
Yeah, they just
They
dropped
died.
off.
Did the
But they
publishing
came back.
stop?
They came back. Just recently, like when we were still in high school, they came back with Bakugan Armored Alliance. And it was a completely revamped. And it was pretty good if you, like, for a children's version of it, but it was good. Like, and I liked it. But when they came back, they actually brought a different playstyle. Instead of using like the gate cards,
Right.
it's actually still the same type of thing. You still roll the Bakugan, and it hits a hexagon, and depending on the number and color for like the type, will give you an increase, and it's really cool. It's really different, but they did bring back Battle Gear,
Okay.
or Baku Gear, so there is an addition to that where you gain G-Power with that. They don't use ability cards anymore. They
Oh.
don't use gate cards. They just use the hexagon points.
So you don't have the pain of rolling it and missing the thing 80,000 times.
That is actually not true.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have that pain.
Yeah, I remember doing that. I mean, I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Let's do this.
Whatever the
I
catchphrase
made
I don't
is.
know
this.
the
Bakugan Brawl. They still do that.
Bakugan
Yeah.
Brawl. That was. I
Yeah,
remember that.
Bakugan Brawl, throw the thing and it just goes somewhere. It rolls
Or
under
it
the
just
couch.
doesn't. The magnet clicks, but it just doesn't like open properly. God, yeah, I never actually played, but I do know the game mechanics. I found an instruction manual from like 2005 and reread the thing. I'm like, I still don't get how this game works. But
It's very easy
well,
to play.
yeah, I remember I used to collect a whole bunch of Bakugan. Like I had some of the big ones too. Like
I do.
Yeah.
I still do.
I don't think I have any left, sadly, but I had so many in like kindergarten, first grade.
I still do. I still have a shit ton
That's
left.
fantastic.
I had a I
And
had,
cards.
I had a singular. I had one. Like my friend gave me one. It was the the regular like red one, whatever it's
The one
called.
with the horn,
Drago?
the orange horn.
Drago.
Yeah,
El Drago.
Yeah, just had
He's
said
like the
Drago.
red, isn't he? He's like the blue eyes white dragon.
Yeah, he's like
Dragon.
he's like
No, he
kind
was
of.
red.
He's no, but the iconography is you think Yu-Gi-Oh, you think blue eyes white dragon. That's
Yeah.
iconic. Or dark magician. You like
There-
that's one of the
There's a lot of iconic cards.
yeah,
from
like the
Yu-Gi-Oh.
God cards, Exodia.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, God
Yeah.
cards, Exodia.
That was my deck. God cards and Exodia. Nothing but and blue eyes.
The funny thing is, I was like,
Mm.
there was this YouTuber that came across my recommended recently, and he does videos on why nobody plays certain cards in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! It was talking about why nobody plays Exodia, why nobody plays Destiny board. Those two alternate win conditions.
Oh my god.
Yeah, do you remember Destiny board?
I don't.
Yes.
So Destiny board was a trap card, a continuous trap card.
Okay.
You play the continuous trap card, and every turn you get so in the anime, how Destiny board works is you wait a certain amount of turns, and it's 5 turns. So starts with F, and then it spells out final at the end.
No,
And then
that's not Destiny board.
that's Destiny
That's
board.
Spirit Message.
I'm looking it up.
Spirit Message is the spell card. Destiny board is the name of the trap card.
It's not Destiny board. I'm telling you, you're
Okay.
thinking of Destiny Board Traveler, the Yu-Gi-Oh video game on the Game Boy.
I'm saying
it's
what
not-
the card is.
It's not Destiny Board, I'm telling you. 'Cause
Okay.
I have a the Yu-Gi-Oh 7 Trials to Glory, and it has that in it. It's not Destiny Board.
It's not called Destiny
No,
board.
it is not.
Okay, I'm
It's
gonna.
not
Are
Destiny-
you sure about
Yes.
that?
Yeah, I'm
Because I
gonna.
think Google has other things to say.
Yeah. I'm gonna Google Destiny board.
I have it pulled up right here. I
Wait, let
can
me
read
see,
it.
Let me see the card.
That's the card.
Huh?
I'm going to read its effect to you real quick.
No, I know the ability.
I was about to say it's an infinite trap card, Destiny board. It has the letter F on it.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
Okay, I'm stupid.
Spirit Message is the name of the spell
Yes,
card.
I know that much.
So the
I guess I was wrong. Sorry.
so Destiny board, how that works is you spell out final, basically, and just at the end of every one of your turns.
Probably when this
Mm,
card
yes,
all
it's-
four skirmish.
It's at the end of every one of your turns. You put the next one down.
Yeah, you place in that like Spirit Message I, N, A, and L. But you have to have. You can't remove a card, spell or trap
Yeah.
card from your field. It has to be empty.
Yeah, it has to stay there, which means
Mhm.
first of all, there's a few issues with this. First of all, you're losing slots in your
Yes,
trap
it
cards.
is.
Yes.
Second of all, you just have a continuous trap card there. So as soon as someone puts like a card that kills trap cards, like,
Yeah.
you're dead. You're
No,
done.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
You're done, and now you just have 5 cards that are completely useless out of your 40 card
Yeah.
card limit.
Unless in the 7 Trials of Glory game I put 3 copies of every single one. Can't run out now. Whatever. It was still very hard to use.
I mean, that means you have you basically have your deck as Destiny board.
Yeah. It was worth
You're
it.
going
And then-
for that Destiny board build.
And then here's the best card. Final Countdown.
Final Countdown.
It
Final
was-
Countdown is better because
Yes,
first
it
of
is.
all, it's not continuous.
No, it is. It's continuous.
I'm looking it up again.
You?
Because what final
Final countdown's a spell. It's not infinite.
It's not a continuous spell card.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the
This
infinite thingy.
knowledge
Yeah,
is
so-
fucking failing me.
First of all, it's not a continuous, so the only way they can cancel is with a quick spell.
Then why does it stay on the field if it's not continuous?
It
It
doesn't
could be a-
stay on the field. It's
I'm
not
trying to find
supposed
a high-res image. Pay
Okay,
2,000
then
life
this
points after
game
20 turns
is
have passed.
fucking me over.
You were playing like the digital.
Yeah,
So-
I don't
Final
know.
countdown doesn't look that good. I'm reading
20
its
turns
effect.
later, you automatically
20 turns though.
Not 20 of your turns, 20 turns.
Oh.
win.
So-
Still.
So it's only 10 turns, really.
But
Pay
if you're playing against like a pretty god tier deck and you've got a deck that could just like outlast,
Yeah, if
you
you
will- you
if
will
you
win.
give Final Countdown turn 1, and then play it turn 1, and then just try to last
Yeah.
until
I was
the
going to say,
end.
yeah, I zoned out from what you were saying because I was reading its effect, honestly. I think I figured out why Final Countdown is good, is because it just activates regardless, even if you, like, if you counter the spell, then that's that.
Yeah.
But after it triggers, it's 20 turns later, you win,
Yeah.
regardless of what the other person
Yeah.
does, unless they kill you first.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why
But
you
it's
gotta
like-
outlast.
And that's why there's the 2,000 life point cost.
Right.
Because you get rid of like a quarter.
It makes it slightly
Yeah, a
easier
quarter
to
of
kill
your
you.
health.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But the other thing that I love OG Yu-Gi-Oh with a passion. Like OG was the best ever created. When it got to pendulums are really good.
They
got
should have
really
stopped.
Good. Yeah,
I
they
never
should have stopped
learned
right there.
pendulums,
Stop right there,
so-
buddy. Pendulums are good. But the OG was the best, especially because if you've played the OG, the spirit monsters, there's I don't know if they made any more spirit monsters as the series progressed. I don't think they did. But in the OG, I made a spirit deck, and it was actually really good. It was really good. There were quite a few limitations on being able to use it, but just using it was good. And it gave different abilities. It made a different mechanic, and it actually, I think where the spirit monsters came in the OG, that's where they actually really got the idea of, okay, maybe we could do some more with this and build off of this with better cards. And Infernoid Monsters was very similar to that. And then once they had Infernoid Monsters, boom. Like that, you could make a whole deck of Infernoid Monsters. You can be playing 5 in the same one turn. Like it's
Yeah, Infinite, that's a good combo right there. Like it's a really good thing to do multi-card combos, which is how you win Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I looked up a master deck for Infernoids that someone made, and dude, the combo was straight broken. It was just God.
Anyway, because runtime's getting a little long here, I
It
think
is.
we should.
Where are we
Sorry.
at anyway?
We're around what's that say? 36 minutes.
Oh wow, that's
Oh, okay.
usually that's a little close to our usual runtime.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still on the first.
It's gonna be longer.
Yeah, but that's fine. Our guest videos usually.
Guest videos usually are. They're usually closer to 2.
Sorry, I have so much to talk about.
It's all
a
good.
good topic.
It's a lot to talk
It's
about.
been
It is
fun.
a good topic.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Anyway, let's keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Jamie, what have you brought for us?
Yeah, okay. I was gonna wait till last because mine slightly takes your guy. I'm assuming yours is both like physical card games and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can be digital.
See, the one I brought to the table here, pun intended, is digital card games. Ones you play online. The one I had in particular was one that Logan introduced me to.
Yes.
In
Yes.
I want to say 10th grade. It doesn't matter.
No.
but I'm gonna say
It was junior year of high school, because when I got into Mr. Bo's classes, when I first got it, is when I first found it, because I was just
thought we
bored, and
played
I was
it
like,
in-
you know what, I'm gonna look up online card games and see what the fuck I get.
First of all,
Card Hunter, okay.
I remember playing it in insert teacher's name here class in like 10th grade. It was like CAD. I thought we played it in CAD
No,
together.
it was interactive media.
That's where we first.
Yes.
I don't remember ever playing it in interactive media.
We did, because it was close to the beginning when we were in that back corner.
We haven't even said what the game is
before our
yet.
Before our seats changed, and I moved to the other table, we were all in that like 4 spots, and there was 4 of us playing it.
Yeah, you kind of moved around a lot, but
Yeah.
but
Anyway,
yeah.
Card Hunter.
Card Hunter
Card
is the
Hunter.
game I'm talking about. The theme for today was going to be like mainly dead card games, and as most of you probably know, Adobe Flash Player was discontinued in December of 2019?
Something like that.
It
Was 2020?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
2020.
And Card Hunter was an Adobe Flash run game. So we played it, of course during the pandemic we weren't in school, so I just wasn't playing it much.
Yeah.
And I never played it after. But I remember it was a really fun game, and I liked the aesthetic of it.
Oh,
That it was a card game, like you have like cards, but each of the cards are treated like an actual player character type sort, where you could give them like little like clothing items that are, or like armor pieces that like boost some of their stats. You can get them new weaponry.
Well, no,
and
it
stuff
wasn't
like
really
that.
that. It was like the items, you would give the characters items, and those items would give you cards to put in your deck, and then
Right,
in a battle
right.
you would play those cards.
Right.
Some of the items that you gave, like there was a spot for footgear,
Right.
they would
It-
give you movement cards.
Yeah, I
They
remember
would
that.
boost speed, like there was... It was hard to get, but you could get one item where it would give you the flying movement cards, where you
Mhm.
could fly really far across
Yeah.
the board. But it was a good mechanic.
Mhm.
It really was, and it was basically a tabletop
Mhm.
card game.
It was sort
for-
of dungeon crawly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a lot like it. And it kind of gave you a Dungeons and Dragons
It did.
sense.
That's why I liked it. Because, like I said, the aesthetic of it was like set on a tabletop. You had
Yeah.
like a board, and you had little player characters that moved
Yeah.
on the board to fight enemies. But it was a card game.
Yeah, and
Like-
there were intrusions, and there were
Mhm.
things that blocked line of sight and
Yes.
movement. It even had, like, your character card had to be pointing in a certain direction
Right.
for actual sight, like
Mhm.
cone of
Sa-
sight.
Yeah, sounds like a more complicated version of Slay the Spire.
I don't know that game, so I'll let you two duke that one out.
Kinda, actually. But, okay, so it was really easy to play. Slay the Spire, yes, was even easier to play, but Card Hunter was still really easy.
It was also free.
Yes, Card Hunter,
Card Hunter
is
is
free.
free, yeah.
It is
What was?
Card
What was
Hunter's
then?
free to
was free.
free to play versus Slay the Spire is a $15 game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean that's not as expensive as games go, but
Yeah.
Right.
It's pretty affordable. But even so, it was a fun little game that we played in like junior year.
Junior. It
And
didn't get discontinued until senior year.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
And,
Flash
at
died.
that point, I
Yeah.
didn't play it because we weren't. In
I was still
school.
playing it. There was actually kind of a story plot to it, sort of. It just didn't run together to get to like an ending. It was just like you played a level, and whatever happened to that level, there is what happened, and you kept going. I got so far. You would think that there would be like 100 levels, maybe,
Right.
or something.
I don't know how many there were. Do you?
It took so long to get through them because they actually did get really difficult to
They
go
did.
through.
Mhm.
And once I got to like level 19 or 20 or something, I looked it up and there was actually only like 24, 25 levels.
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
I got that close, but it took me that freaking long. Are you serious?
Yeah, I remember.
well, I imagine the boards get bigger.
Oh, they do.
Actually,
And,
no, not really.
well, you get a lot more enemies and stuff though. And,
You
like,
do,
powerful enemies.
There was one level I was stuck on for so
Mhm.
long. It was these flying freaking monkeys.
flying monkeys.
Yes, they were
I don't
flying
remember
monkeys.
flying
and there was-
monkeys.
All they had for movement was the fly card. They would fly all across the board. When they got close to you, they would use this like throwing attack, and they would like throw. I think it was a rock at you, but it dealt a really hefty amount of damage for some reason, and then they would fly away before you
Ugh.
could even attack them.
That's
They don't
so
have
annoying.
a disengage. What's the D&D mechanic?
Opportunity attack.
Opportunity attacks.
Yeah, no. And it was so annoying. They would always go like, "Hi, bye." And I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean,
my healer would be the first one down. I'm like, God
Oh
damn
yeah, I
it."
had that problem a lot.
I mean that is a mechanic in D&D. There's a thing where I forget what the ability is, but basically you don't have to take the disengage action.
It's probably like something monks have or something, right?
No, it's like you don't have to take it when it's like a flying character.
Oh, because
You don't have to take the action.
You don't have to
Disengage
take
action.
the-
It's an ability, so it's not like everyone has it. I'm fiddling with my pocket
I'm
knife.
just so
And-
afraid you're gonna slit your finger off. I'm like,
I'll
oh,
tell you
no.
what,
And
it's
Logan's
you.
just looking at me with wide eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing it too. I'm like, oh, you want a fidget spinner? Maybe that'll help you a little better.
By the
Like
way,
the
for-
Ninja Star one.
Yeah, for the first time ever, we are doing this live.
Yeah, in person. I hope my audio's better for once. We haven't actually talked about that. We're all looking at each other.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah, we're all in person.
This eye contact might be why I'm talking a bit more in this episode. I typically don't talk as much as I do in this one.
Might be trying out video podcasts soon, but
I would.
also sounds complicated.
Yeah. Also, we
Yeah,
don't
it
even
is.
have a properly set. Like, we're still testing out our mics and stuff.
So
making
they're
sure,
not that finely tuned.
Yeah,
I
making
think
sure audio doesn't double and stuff like that.
I'm going to be sitting at my editing desk forever for this episode.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually really glad I got the chance to do this because this is really fun.
Yeah.
I do very much enjoy the podcast.
It is a fun
One of the things I missed in college because I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
That's why it's like season 1 now because it's been a year.
It's been about a year, yeah.
It's been like a year here. I can actually check here real fast.
I think Jamie said it was like, what, 26 episodes?
It was 20 episodes in season 0.
We made it to episode 20. It was published on August 15th, 2021.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
No.
Yeah, it is. It's been a while.
Yep. And then
But we're back. Hopefully I can keep it going when school starts. I don't want to... I need to like balance my time a little more with the stuff I want to do and the stuff I have to do.
Just get all your work done in class.
I mean, I can do that, but then I have like my job.
Yeah.
And I need to make money at my job.
And,
I mean, just give a set day that you cannot work and you can not do anything and just use it.
That's the idea. That's the plan. Instead of working 5 days a week, I work like 2 or 3.
Like,
That's
I don't get that minimum amount of money. Like,
I mean, that's not like I mean, that's still 24 hours for 3 days. That's not
but
bad.
a minimum wage.
It's not minimum wage.
Oh,
It's a little more.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
13 an hour, which still isn't much.
Right.
Yeah.
Still isn't that much more than minimum wage.
Yeah.
Minimum wage in our state is $12.50
Yeah.
here in Crabland.
And we've doxed ourselves!
It's a big place.
Yeah.
It's a big place. I sincerely doubt that revealing our state
I doubt any of our listeners care.
or
Right.
that they care.
Yeah.
I swear,
I mean,
if someone's standing outside my window and being like, I can smell you.
what?
I'm just, this is America. I can just
speak, man.
I'm not going to.
All of a sudden, he's holding a lighter. He was fiddling with a knife earlier. What's he going to do?
I'm not. This is America. The Second Amendment is something we have.
It's
He
the
goes
law
from
of the
knives
land.
to
It's-
lighters to guns. Like,
Yeah, but
we're not going back to the last episode.
I'm not going to make a formal threat against the viewers. That would be inappropriate.
I will. No, I'm kidding.
So, don't stalk us.
Please. Unless doing the finger thing, the finger guns where you're pointing at each other like ooh, unless. Edit that one out, Taylor. Edit that one out.
No, keep that.
JK, unless.
Do I keep that one in?
Yes.
It's all up to you, editor Taylor. It's up to you.
Do I even keep that one in? That's I will be contemplating that the rest of the episode. Do I keep that in?
I would.
So Card Hunter with the death of Flash is the death of Card Hunter.
Yeah.
And as a tech person, Flash is a very interesting scenario because you have something that's so widely used
Yeah.
that a lot of old systems rely on it.
What?
And you have like a bunch of old systems relying on Flash, and then you have like native support for HTML5.
Mhm.
So like you don't need Flash. So Adobe's like, why do we still have this? Like on their side it's redundant, and on our side it's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so many older things that aren't migrated to HTML5.
Right.
So
Card Hunter.
like Card Hunter,
Card Hunter is one of them.
which causes the death of many, many Flash games. Cool Math is different now. Cool Math games. Anyone remember that?
Yeah, I follow them on
they still
Instagram.
have some of their Flash player games, but they do have a lot of HTML.
Yeah, they converted
Yeah.
everything.
But there are still Flash players that you can't play, which really sucks. Like Civil Balls, I'm pretty sure that's a Flash
Good
player.
name for a game.
Rip. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Like,
Flash.
some of there were really good mobile or web browser games that were made with Flash, and now they're all gone.
Mhm.
It's like, God,
Right.
dang it,
It's very sad.
it sucks. Card Hunter is one of them.
We're gonna keep going. That was mine. That was my my topic. So I guess we're just gonna keep coming back to Card Hunter.
Yeah.
Hunter. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about a game that died, but is also still alive. It's like
What?
that. It's like that meme where it's like, I died and I died, but I lived.
I lived.
So there's a game that went out in publication in 2018. It's called Android Netrunner, and it's made by this company, Fantasy Flight Games, and they've worked with a lot of people. They've worked with Games Workshop to make Warhammer 40K like type of
Oh, okay.
games. They made like just like a board game, not like RPG stuff,
Mhm.
but just like a regular board game.
House on the Hill type?
And
Betrayal at House on the Hill type? Or
it's not like a procedural generated type thing like that, but it's just like a board game. I didn't even look in depth into what it is, but they worked with Games Workshop and they worked with Wizards of the Coast to make Wizards of the Coast. They
It's
make
the best.
Magic, D&D.
They everything.
All of the games that you've ever played.
all of the nerdy stuff you do.
Yeah, so they worked with Wizards of the Coast to make Android Netrunner because they hold the license to the Android universe, because it's like it's under license.
Yeah.
So gotta take a sip.
Yeah.
Water.
It's a water break.
Water break. We talk a lot.
Yeah.
Surprise. So they worked with that, and they have also worked independently with Magic the Gathering designer Richard Garfield.
Oh, okay.
Big names.
Yeah.
So really big names work with Fantasy Flight,
Okay.
and they make these things. They're called living card games,
Okay.
and instead of like building a deck,
Mhm.
you get a pre-constructed deck, and you can add to it using these set expansions. So it's kind of like buying DLC in a video game.
Okay.
Okay.
So, and they do make a bunch of series of these. Netrunner's one of them, but another game that's still out is Keyforge.
I know
I've heard
Keyforge.
of that.
Yeah,
I've heard
that's a
of
big
it.
name.
And the cool thing about Keyforge is their living card games are every single deck is unique.
Mhm.
So you're not supposed to build it. So that's not.
Really?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do any deck building with Keyforge.
Oh.
So your deck is your deck, and nobody has the same deck as you.
That's actually really interesting. How does
I'd
that
like-
work?
I'm
So-
curious.
So you can
Yeah.
have the same cards, but you can't have the same set of cards. You know, like your deck's not going to be the exact same as someone
So,
else's.
like, what if there was just one different card and everything else was the same? Like,
I mean, that could
what's
happen.
the point?
The point is like, it's just like your deck is unique to you. I don't think. I haven't looked too much into Keyforge, but Keyforge has some really good art, and the last time I actually looked at anything in Keyforge was a while ago when it came out. But you can do some independent research on that. I should have taken notes, but I was more focused on Netrunner. But Keyforge is a really good example of what a living card game is, because it's like everything's pre-constructed. It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic where you have to buy a bunch of cards and put a deck
Yeah.
together. So the objective of Android Netrunner is it's a two-player game.
Okay.
One person plays the hacker, also referred to as a runner, and the other player plays as the corporations, and there's all these different corporations you can play as, called Wayland Corporation, Hospiroid, different, they're just different corporations, and they all have their own, like, intrinsic power
Okay.
that they have, like, an effect. And the same thing with runners. There's 3 different kinds of runners. One of them's like bandit. I forget the different names, but anyway, so 2 sides, hacker, corp. And the hacker's agenda is to steal 7 points from the corp.
Okay.
And the corp has to score 7 points.
Yeah.
And they do so with these agenda cards. So they have an active agenda. Netrunner has to steal the agenda. Or the corp has to score the agenda. So it's like a race.
Yeah.
Finish the agenda before the hacker can steal it.
Yeah.
And there's also the alternate win condition of having the corpo deck out. So there's cards that will allow you to discard cards from their deck.
Okay.
And there's like multiple lines of defense on either side. There's ice, which is like countermeasures. So you gotta take out the ice with, like the hacker has to take out the ice. And then there's like basically like economy cards. And they're just, so they're played in 2 rows. So the top row is the ice and the bottom row is the like economy type cards, and they all have different effects.
Yeah.
So one's either helping you score one row is helping you score agenda cards. The other row is defending your agenda cards.
Okay.
And the hacker has to optimize like attacking your economy or attacking just attacking the agenda cards directly.
Yeah.
So because if you let their economy go out of control, they can score agenda cards extremely quickly.
Oh, okay.
So if they end up making too much money or whatever resource that they need to score the agenda card, they can just say, oh, I've made all this money. Next agenda card, score.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have this?
I don't have this game, but I'm about to get to where you could get this game. So this game, production for this game ran from 2015 to 2018.
Okay.
They lost the license.
Oh, shucks.
Like Wizards, stopped giving it to them.
Okay.
I guess it's just because money. You got to pay for
of
these
course,
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money. It's all about the money.
Yep.
Yeah, but the cool thing about Netrunner is there was a competitive scene that was pretty much exactly like Magic's. You have store level tournaments, and then you have like regional tournaments, and then you have the worlds. And it's played Swiss format and double elimination in the top like 8 to 16, depending on whether regionals or world, like regionals, world, or store, and that switches to a double elimination. And it's just really cool that there was like Fantasy Flight. I think is a really unique company because they're just a games company, just kind of doing their thing, and they can organize like a competitive scene really quickly.
Yeah.
Because they got all these big names and stuff. If you say, "Oh, we worked with Richard Garfield," everyone's like, "Oh, the Richard Garfield."
Yeah.
I think I want to play this game. So, yeah, it's a really interesting predicament to be in, where you're kind of beholden to these companies, but at the same time, they're giving you a massive leg up.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought Netrunner was a really cool game. That might be because I'm a cybersecurity major and hacking is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But I was upset when I heard that they canceled it, because I found this game like 2019, 2020.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, they discontinued it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the only like starter sets are available on eBay for like $80. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But there is a nonprofit organization that's actually keeping this game alive, which I think is really cool. It's called the Netrunner International Support Organization. Or sorry, sorry, I can't read. The Netrunner International Support and Expansion Initiative.
Okay.
So they organize tournaments and they print new cards.
Oh.
So they actually are continuing to make the game.
Wait, is that even legal?
It must be because they haven't been shut down. And the last expansion they released was System Gateway in March of 2021. So I think it's really interesting that there is a non-profit organization, which means nobody's making money off of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, and it also makes it really affordable because they're not paying it. Well, they must be paying someone
Yeah.
because you got to print the cards or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Need paper.
yeah, to print the cards, it actually is really affordable. Instead of the $80 that people are paying for a starter set, you can get a starter set and the expansion for I think it's $45. So it's actually really affordable to play using NISEI cards. And just the fact that there's like people doing this is just really, really fun. I've never seen a community come together like that over a card game.
Yeah. Right.
Like I've seen it online with like different games that have been shut down, and people have like community servers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's like there's a community server for another dead video game was Tribes Ascend, which is a game where you're in this like suit and you can toggle friction.
Oh.
What?
So all the maps are like these hills, and so what you can do is you can just turn off friction, slide down the hill, gain up a ton of speed, and it's an FPS. So it's this really fast-paced, high-skill FPS where you gotta control your speed, and you're going really, really fast. So what makes that game so fun is just that gimmick. I just think it's crazy because you're going at basically as fast as it can go almost all the time. Like the best players, that's how fast they're going. They're always going like max speed. So it was a really fun game to play. Really high skill FPS. I will reiterate that because if you do play the community version of this game, which is also kind of dying out again.
Sad.
So it's like dying 3 times because I'm getting to this. So I'm getting to why it's dying 3 times, not twice. But so I guess that kind of turns off a lot of players because it's just so high skill.
Yeah.
And that was made by Hi-Res Studios, and we know Hi-Res Studios, Paladins.
Yes, I love Paladins.
Paladins. What was the other game they had that got shut down too?
They didn't shut down Paladins?
They didn't shut down Paladins, but
Okay.
they've had a bunch of games where they had it and then it got shut down. Like I guess it's because it's an independent studio. It doesn't make a lot of money, so they can't keep all of these games running. But
I don't know what happened to Berserk Studios. Like, the last thing I
didn't
know,
they get bought up by EA and then EA killed it?
is that what happened?
I know that will happen to game studios.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like EA and Microsoft will buy them and just cannibalize them into their own.
Yeah. Because Berserk Studios made Just Shapes and Beats, and then I didn't see anything else from them.
Oh, maybe not them, because Just Shapes and Beats, while it is a good game.
Yes, it is. It's so much fun.
Well,
I beat it once, and then I couldn't get back through.
Wait, did you say Berserk Studios? Didn't they make Tabletop Simulator?
Did they?
Looking it up.
I know for a fact they made Just Shapes and Beats, because when I played it, every time I logged in, they had a really cool freaking intro with the Viking thing. It was pretty cool.
That might be Berserk Games. Now that I think of it. The makers of Tabletop Simulator.
You're right.
Berserk Games,
Yeah.
not Berserk Studios.
Yeah.
But anyway, the cool thing about Tribes is just a really high skill, fast paced FPS, and it's so unique.
Mm.
So when it got shut down by Hi-Res, people make community servers, and then just the entire game got shut down. Like on launch, you can't play it. Like it's been removed from every store, so you can't actually play it. And then people made an entire new game that was like the same thing called Midair. So it's the same thing, just different people. People made a different game that was like exactly the same to Tribes.
Yeah.
So basically a carbon copy of it. And then they ran out of money, so they got shut down.
There's the money again.
They ran out of money, they got shut down. Community servers. The community servers are there, and you can play on the community servers, but every time I go to play, there's like 2 or 3 people there. like you enter like a room, and there's just like 2 or 3 people there, and of course the server's on the other side of the country, so it's like so I got like 200 ping, and I'm just like, well, this isn't gonna work. I'm like rubber banding all over the map, you know. So yeah, so the game's almost on its way out for a 3rd time, but I think it's a really fun game, really fast-paced, a ton of fun.
It sounds fun. It actually sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's just the concept where you can just kind of turn off friction.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
There was an episode of Magic School Bus where they did that. That was a good episode.
I mean, there is technically friction, but like not an. It's like there's a very very small amount of friction.
Right.
And yeah, so that's a dead video game that's died like 3 times
Yeah.
because people are like keeping it running still. But just like there's a lot of things like that, and I think it's really fun and wholesome when instead of like giving your money to someone that's like, you know, just like a company, you're giving it to like a person that's dedicated to keeping this alive.
Yeah.
So it's just like organizations like NESEI and whoever made Midair, I don't even know. I think it was just some dude actually.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like a collection of people. It was just a
One guy.
And
All
that
it takes is one man to change it all.
Yeah. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
so that was the game, and I think I will try to get some NESEI cards if we do want to play Netrunner.
Okay.
And maybe Redikai, we can do a video on that.
I will try to bring in my cards at some point. I've got plenty to make at least 3 decks, but it's only a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you could do multi.
Could you do 3 people? Maybe.
Yeah, you could. It's not
And even-
easy, but it's doable.
Yeah, even not, we can probably just rotate out
Yeah.
the players or whatever.
Yeah.
And it would just be a fun video to make.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll just play Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh too for the heck of it, even though it's still alive.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh might be on its way out. I'm not
It's-
entirely sure.
It's definitely on its way.
I feel like it is.
I think
It's either gonna
Konami's
go to-
gonna.
It's either going to go to the wrong person and they're going to drive it 6 feet in the ground, or it's not going to go to anybody and the game is screwed.
Yeah,
It's just
I think Konami's gonna keep it alive because it is more or less a cash cow for them.
I mean, true, but really, if you think about it, when I looked it up, Yu-Gi-Oh didn't eat out of the most profitable trading card games on the planet. Yu-Gi-Oh didn't even make top 12.
What else does Konami make?
They don't make much.
Yeah,
Actually.
because if you cancel Yu-Gi-Oh, what
else do they have?
are you left with?
I don't
Look
think,
it
I don't think
up.
they have
And I
anything.
don't think Konami wants to go under, so
Yeah.
I think they'll try to keep Yu-Gi-Oh alive, but it's definitely on its way out.
It is.
I am looking up what games Konami makes.
I know they made some.
They have a lot of video games.
Yeah.
Metal Gear, Silent Hill,
Oh,
Castlevania,
Metal Gear. Oh,
Silent
they're
Hill?
fine.
Frogger.
They made. They did make Frogger. I forgot
Contra.
about
I forgot they made Metal Gear Solid. Like that's
that. Okay, never mind. So they-
Metal Gear Solid will keep them up because like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is making a comeback for some reason.
Yeah. If they would just remaster any Frogger games, not that the originals weren't bad at all, but if they would just bring them back and make them more modern or something.
How do you
It don't-
change Frogger though?
I don't know.
I don't think you can change Frogger.
Yeah,
That's-
there's not much to
I
work
mean, you
with.
could just make it 3D and say, "Oh, it's revamped."
And it's not like Frogger isn't like dead or
No, it's not. But
Yeah, it's not like Frogger is dead. I bet I can go onto the App Store here and type
It's
in
just-
Frogger
Yeah.
and see
I
what
don't
pops up.
think they've made much new stuff really.
What, in
Like they made a lot of
Konami?
good stuff for the Game Boy and DS, but I don't think they got.
Yeah,
past that.
here's this indie dev, and he just made a game called Classic Frogger.
Oh, well, no. A classic Frogger is where you just get from point A to point B. Up, you made it.
Yeah,
next
and then
level.
then there's like other things like it, like Crossy Road and other
Oh,
things
that's
like
too
on
much like it.
phones,
Mhm.
where it's like, yeah, Frogger is a good mobile game
It
nowadays.
is.
It's a good mobile game.
Speaking of mobile games, and I didn't get to talk about the TCG for it. How many of you guys? Well, you won't be able to say it, but out there
In the
if you-
comments.
yeah, in the comments, how many of you play Pokemon Unite? My brothers introduced it to me. I am huge on Pokemon as well. I thought it was actually going to be absolute garbage. I honestly did, but then I played one round and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. So, those of you that do out there and love Pokemon, but haven't played the game yet, please do. It is so much fun and it's so worth it. The mechanics is great. It's nothing like any of the other Pokemon games that you've ever played. It's a PvP Pokemon, and it's got a whole different system other than like a TDM match. It basically mixes TDM and somewhat soccer with it. Just a goal.
It's almost
goal
like a
scorings.
MOBA game, really.
It is, but it's good. It really is.
Yeah, I haven't actually played Pokemon Unite.
I've seen you play it.
yeah,
I've
I've
seen you
seen
get
you play
heated
it.
playing it.
You,
Yeah.
get, you get really heated.
That's
Like,
you with any game, though. Let's
Because
be honest.
Yes, it is. I'm just with games like that. I'm so competitive. Like we were talking about Paladins earlier. There have been so many rounds. I love to play IO. Right. I'm huge on IO, and I'm really good. The trick is just get to the point, place Luna at the center, but use the lifelink talent so that Luna will heal you in a circle and everyone around you, and just get to the point. But every single person on my team is afraid of standing on the point to block the others, so they just run all the way to the back of the map, and the other team's just got the point 3 times, and I'm like,
Aw.
why am I even playing with you people?
yeah, the funny thing about those games is people don't want to die because the respawn timer is long.
That is true.
So
That is
you
one
don't want to
thing.
die because the respawn timer is long. So you need your support in your
Exactly.
ADC.
Mhm.
But
But that's
my,
just
my my girlfriend plays League professionally, so like everything is so. I'm gonna talk about some like MOBA stuff that I know a little bit about. I know a thing or two.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you need like your support and ADC to actually like help,
yeah.
and if they don't, you die.
You're right.
But sometimes you just die anyway.
But I mean, that's the thing with IO.
Like if somebody lasers you and just tries to get you dead, like just get one character dead.
Yeah, but just it's that
You're
that's the
going to
thing with IO. Luna's ability, no matter what the talent is, Luna's ability is you hit an enemy with your arrow, like a normal what do you call it? Attack. Like you shoot your bow, hit one enemy even just once, and Luna marks it, and Luna will attack that character constantly. The first attack will stun the character. If you've got everybody on the point and they're stunned right there, that person is dropped. That person is dead. Even if it's a front line, that person is dead.
Yeah,
Everybody
so
just get on the point.
yeah, so you'll get somewhat. So yeah, so you get someone. You play Aya, and then you just you get because Aya support, right?
Yeah.
So you put your lifelink talent, so everyone's gaining health in like an AOE. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
Everyone's gaining health in the AOE, so they're going to die slower.
Yeah.
You're stun locking people
Unless
with
but-
your auto attack.
Yeah, but the ability only goes so far. But that's what I love, because everybody just stays way far back away from Luna, so they're like, okay, yay, we get more room to stay on point. More time for us.
Just use your support. That,
Yes.
if you're like just like an attacker or just like if you're an attacker, use your support. When your support's there, help kill things.
Yeah.
Like just do it. It's basic tactics.
But the one thing I don't understand about supports is Ying. how is Ying a support when my little brother, he's freaking 13 years old and plays Paladins with me, has able to get over 50,000 damage with Ying? And she's a support.
With a support.
Yes.
Wow.
How? It's like, but I'm not kidding. This kid, when he plays, Tyra is his main, but he can play any of the other shooters. He can play any character, but Tyra's his main. He has gotten over 100,000 damage with Tyra.
Wow.
I'm like, what the fuck is this kid playing?
Yeah.
I just don't understand this kid.
Okay, we got 10 minutes, so we gotta
Let's
close this out.
So
let's
even
do-
doing question.
Let's do. I have a question.
All right.
Real quick, and then we're done.
Okay.
All right.
Are we leaving that bit in? Just a segue.
Well, we'll just do our normal segue.
Which is?
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah?
I have a question.
What's your question, Taylor?
What's the little things that make you happy?
That's a very...
Like,
I like that one.
What's a little thing?
A little thing that makes me happy.
That could be taken wrong in so many
It
ways.
could be, but I'm not going to. Because there's plenty of things. There are plenty of little... I know. A very tiny thing. I'll scroll through Instagram, and Instagram, it knows what I like.
Right.
For videos of rabbits. I
What?
love rabbits. I'll open Instagram and I'll be like, look at the little guy. Look at him go hopping around. And I live in a very wooded area, and I'll go out on nature walks quite often, and I'll see rabbits outside. And I'll be like, the rabbits are here. I love, like, that's one of the little things that really brightens my day, is just seeing rabbits. Honestly, just rabbits. Yeah, I'd say that's my go-to. That's the thing that brightens my day.
Yeah.
Rabbits.
What's your thing? What's your little thing, Logan?
I really actually don't have a little thing, to be honest. I just really get up and go through the day, and if the day is shit, well, it's shit. If the day is good, well, it's good. If the day is good shit, well, it's good shit.
I'm hearing the editing. Just it's good. Beep. It's good. Beep.
I think I might just tag this as explicit. I don't mind the swearing. Like,
But the YouTube overlords.
YouTube overlords might, but we're on... Actually, YouTube's not my biggest platform.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's actually Spotify.
I
Really?
remember that.
Yeah.
I thought it was Discord.
Discord
No,
isn't a
in
podcast
terms of-
platform.
Yeah, where we
No, I
upload the
meant like a
podcast to.
streaming platform. You can stream on Discord, right?
Not like that.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, so I think I get the most streams on Spotify, but either way, they're not going to strike me for content guidelines for a little bit of swearing in a 2-hour-long show. So, anyway.
What's your thing?
My little thing is just being able to just sit outside, you know?
Mm-hmm. I feel
If
that.
I can take a couple minutes, just kind of sit down and just
Touch some grass.
touch grass. Yeah. If I can take a couple minutes to touch grass, maybe have a cold drink in my hand.
You ain't old enough for that, buddy.
I didn't say it was alcoholic.
That's fair.
It is though. No.
We'll just leave it ambiguous,
Yeah.
won't we?
Right.
So yeah, that's my little thing.
That's a good little thing.
That is good. I like that.
No, Taylor, Logan, I have a question.
What is your question, Jamie?
What is the weirdest compliment you've ever gotten?
Okay.
I got this.
Okay.
So the weirdest compliment I get, and I get it a lot, it's really weird. People say that they like my hair. I wear my hair in a buzz cut.
Yeah,
What?
he recently got his hair cut.
This is just a buzz cut. Like, there's nothing here.
Like, it was longer before then. It was quite a bit longer.
Yeah,
Now-
but now, like, people say, I like your haircut.
Well, that's a formality.
There's nothing here.
Yeah. Like I said it this morning when I saw you. I'm like, oh, you got a haircut. Nice. Like
Well,
that.
not like that. No, they'll say, I like your hair. Like,
Yeah.
they'll just say, oh, like your hair. It's a buzz cut. There's nothing there. And I'm just like, how? And I asked that, I go, how do you like my haircut? And they're like, I don't know, I just like it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. It's like they can't explain it.
Yeah, there's just something about it.
There's something about a buzz cut that
Yeah.
makes like 5 minutes.
Well, that's fun. Well, Logan, what's the weirdest compliment you get?
There's really not much to my life, to be totally honest. I don't talk to people much. They don't.
I feel
like.
that.
The only thing I guess might come close is one time I was at a I'm gonna be totally honest. I was at a therapy session.
Okay.
And we were going around basically giving It was actually giving.
Oh,
compliments
like
to
a group therapy
Yeah.
type thing.
Um,
Got it.
And this one girl said, "I like his smile." I'm like, "My smile is shit. I think I'm ugly. Why do you like my smile?"
And that's why you're in there.
And that's why we're in therapy.
And then I never see the girl again. So like,
Oh. That's a pretty nice compliment.
I mean, it is nice. I was grateful, but it's like
I've had that.
I hate myself.
I haven't. Okay, let me clarify. I was about to say I've had that. I haven't had that.
But I hate myself.
But
Man.
I won't sing the song. We'll get a copyright strike for sure. But I've had that where like when we were testing the audio for the podcast, I'm like, God, is that my voice? Like they were testing the audio, and I was singing the Pi song, the 100 Digits of Pi, and I listened to the audio again. I'm like, I thought I was a somewhat tolerable singer.
You're not intolerable. There's someone out
You
there
are
and
good.
they sing all the time and it's terribly off key.
I hate it.
Like it's so bad.
Yeah.
Dude,
like-
me.
But I'm not
I
gonna
sound
say
like
anything.
yeah.
I sound like total garbage. You have no idea. I
Yeah.
actually don't even want to try.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like
That's
I listen to my.
Those my AirPods.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the thing. I listen to my singing voice like on our recording. I'm like, wow, that's okay.
That's awful.
I'm like, yeah,
Well,
that's.
you've always said you hated your real voice, but
I
I
do.
actually like it.
I think it's bad. I like hearing it myself when I'm talking to myself. It's fine, but on audio, everyone has that, right? When I listen to your
Everybody
voice on
likes their
audio.
inside voice.
Yeah, because your skull resonates. The
Yeah.
bass.
Just like I like my inside
It's
voice, but I
physically
fucking
sounds
hate
different.
my outside voice.
Yeah.
Your inside voice. There was no way to not like. You
Like
just
it,
gotta,
yeah.
You gotta get used to it.
Yeah.
You hate your
You
voice,
are.
really.
I think that's the reason people hate their outside voice is because you're missing what is
Yeah,
the
you're
core
mi-
parts of your voice.
Yeah, you're missing like
The resonance.
you
through your
always
skull.
hear the inside of your voice, not
Yeah.
your inside voice, not your outside voice. So it's
Yeah.
like something.
It's like when you look at how you look, like the way you look at yourself in the mirror is what you expect to see in the mirror. But when other people see you in the mirror, it's like that's not how they always see you. So like your reflection looks different to other people.
Really?
Yeah, like
I didn't know that.
to you, your reflection, like because you see, like the way you look in the mirror isn't what your face really looks like. It's flipped.
Yeah.
But that's how you imagine your face when you look in a mirror, is because that's what you see most.
Oh.
But other people
Right.
see your face the way it actually is.
Okay.
So when
I-
they see your reflection, they're like, "Oh, that's everything's like flipped."
Yeah.
But that's how you always see yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had that once when I was
Wow.
at the YMCA and I was looking at my friend's reflection. I'm like, "Oh, your hair's flipped weird." It's like that's how my face always looks in the mirror. You know?
Yeah.
That's a weird paradox.
Yeah.
I've never actually like thought about that.
Yeah, I came to that conclusion randomly at the YMCA one day. It forced on me. I looked in the mirror and I saw it and I'm like, wow, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't answer my weirdest compliment.
Yeah.
I got a very specific one. It's not inherently a weird compliment, but there is a reason why I will say it's weird. A friend of mine sent me a song once and said, "This song reminds me of you." And I listened to it. It was the Happy Days theme song. And not to say that I disagree with that, not to say like, ooh, that's the wrong choice of song for me. But the thing that makes it weird to me is that song reminds me more of the person who sent it than it reminds me of me. It's like that's what makes it
Okay.
weird to me. It's like
Okay.
you sent it to me thinking it reminds you of me, but it reminds me way more of you
Yeah.
than like that's. I think that's like my topic in weird compliments is like, or like my whole thing is when people give compliments that you think would be more reflective of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Sort of.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, that was mine.
Huh.
Did
Okay.
you ever think of one?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little discussion on it, but I don't want to do the discussion until I get both of your answers. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start with your answer first. So, if you're stranded on an island, absolutely zero food, nothing to eat, what would you eat? Your hand or your foot?
That's an
Ooh.
interesting question. I thought it was gonna be like, okay, desert island. I'll bring a satellite phone.
I was about to say we've had that question before.
Yeah.
This one. All right. Jigsaw. Oh.
I think I need my foot just because I need to walk. But no matter what, if I eat my hand or my foot, I'm way gone, like surviving.
Yeah.
So I think I might just end it.
I'd eat sand.
So what would you eat?
For me, it would be the foot because I'm pretty adept at walking with a walking stick. I can
Okay.
probably hobble along
Yeah.
well without a foot. So yeah, foot easily. I like my hands.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's always it's definitely the foot because you could just make a prosthetic foot. Like you could make a fake foot out
Yeah.
of sticks.
You could
so
like
you could just
take a coconut. And
peg leg.
yeah, peg leg.
So I mean,
You can't peg hand.
right.
Yeah. Or you can
I
hook.
mean,
you can have a Captain Hook
You
moment.
can have a hook.
But,
Captain Hook.
but that's far less versatile than peg leg.
Right.
Like what else do you use a foot for besides standing on?
However, here's the best part.
Mm.
Both of my little brothers, and including the one that's in freaking high school right now and should be rather smarter than this, they both said hand. I'm like, what the is wrong with you?
I couldn't agree. Cut this.
It's the dentist. I had a dentist appointment tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Anyway,
What you were saying?
what? Yeah, you had a.
No, you were saying.
What was I
You were
saying?
speaking.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
Ah! No, because you were talking about your little brothers who's both said hand. And I was like, that's.
Yeah, that's like, what is wrong with you? Why?
Your brothers both said hand?
Yes, and I even explained it would be better with foot, so you can make a prosthetic foot, and they said no, hand.
My.
Where's your logic?
Here's.
I think no matter what, you're screwed.
I'm
Exactly.
thinking, which one has more meat on it? Hand or foot?
Actually, the foot.
It would be the foot, wouldn't it?
I just
Yeah.
think.
Actually, it
probably-
depends on how big your feet
Actually,
are.
well, it also kind of depends on how much you cut off. You could just cut off your whole freaking leg and then just eat that, and it
That's
counts.
good eating.
It counts.
That's good eating. You get a thigh. You get your calf. That's good eating.
That's good eating.
Yeah.
This is sadistic at this point.
Okay, I didn't
This
say
is-
cut off the ass cheek. Don't go too far.
Now that's depending on how thick. That's good eating too.
Isn't it mostly fat though?
Oh yeah, probably. There's a good amount of muscle in there, isn't there?
What?
You can
No.
work out. Like, that's what people do squats for, is like get the muscle,
Glutes.
the glutes. Yeah.
Glute.
Anyway, that
Yeah,
was
but that's kind of a deep muscle.
yeah. Either way, you probably bleed out maybe
Like,
if you don't get a tourniquet, regardless.
I mean, you can
It's
make
pretty
fire
close to
and
your
just
bone.
burn the wound.
Cauterize the wound. Okay.
At this point, like you're cannibalizing yourself. Like you're
God.
or way gone.
Yeah, you're not gaining any nutrition from that either.
You're way gone. You're already like done for.
By that point, I would have not eaten. I would have constructed a fine rope first to just end it probably.
Yeah.
Before eating myself.
I go find a pretty tall tree branch.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I probably like if you're that far gone, if you're that hopeless that you're
You're
resorting
eating
to
yourself
eating
to
yourself,
survive.
like there's no point at that point.
Also,
Also,
at
we
that
better-
point, you're not gonna make
I was
it.
gonna say we better end like now. I just saw a car pull up.
Yeah. So. Anyway, on that sadistic note, it's time to end.
Yeah.
Well,
What? Yeah. Go ahead.
thank you guys so much for listening. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Well,
Yeah,
let me know
hand
what you
or
think us
foot?
in the comments below.
Hand or foot?
Hand or
Yeah,
foot?
let us
That's
know.
a good
No.
question. Hand or foot, and thank you. And that is the
That's the end of the
Lads
episode.
Podcast.
That's the Lads Podcast.
Episode out.
Episode out. Farewell. Bye.
have a good night
Or day.
or day.
We're actually in early.
It
Time
doesn't
is-
matter.
Have a time.